Hello and welcome to this video. This is the second video in my CRUD apps series, and in this video I'm going to be showing the last two letters in CRUD, which is update and delete. I'm going to be showing this with PHP and MySQL, and the link to the code is in the description. To be able to edit and update data in the database, we have to send in the ID for the text that we want to change and what we want to replace it with. And to do this, I have prepared a form which takes in the text and the ID and sends it to the same URL as with the create. And it looks like this. So it has the value, and then I add edit and a hidden value with the ID. So in our index.php, we have something that checks for the ID and the text, and if we receive this, we're going to be updating the data. To update the data, we have to make a new function called, I'm going to call this update. The update query is going to be written with the update function in MySQL, which first says update, then the table name, which in our case is text, and then we do set and tell it what column in the table we want to update, which is text, and we say that we want to update it with this value. But to not update all texts in the database, in the table rather, we do a where statement which checks what the ID is. So exactly same as before, we do a query function to prepare the statement, and as with the input, we're going to be using a associative array. So we do text and then ID. And in this function we have to take in both the text and the ID, so it knows what we are trying to update. And then we do a execute as with the update, which has the associative array like this. And text, and then ID. So this is the function that we're going to be using in our index file for when we notice that we have an ID and a text in the post. So we do call the database class that we made in the last episode, and we do the update function, which takes the text and the ID as its parameters. And as with the other, we unset the post and reload the index location. So let's see if this works. So here we have the form, and this is the first text. And if we inspect the element, we can see that it has the ID 1 and the value hello. So we do, for example, we can update this to hello 3, and then we click edit, and it updates it and reloads it. And here in the database we can see that the first line in the database has been updated with hello 3, and if we update the other one to say something completely different, like hi, we'll click edit, and this too updates. The next part and the last part is to be able to delete from the database. To do this, we have to make another function, and for this function we are going to be using a delete statement for the query, which says delete and from, and then the table name, which in our case is text, and where the ID is equal to the ID that we want to be deleting. And so for the function I'm going to be calling it delete. This one only needs to take in one parameter, which is the ID, and then we do the same as before. We prepare a query with our query function, and we say delete from text where ID equals colon ID, since we're going to be using an associative array as before. And then we use the execute function to send in the associative array with the ID. Like this. This delete function we're going to be using in the index class, and for the delete I'm just using a link which links to the index with a get parameter for ID, as you can see here, and it adds a get in the URL with the ID. So here we check if we have a ID in the get. We do from the database class, we call the delete function and we send in the ID. And then as before we unset, but in this case we unset the get and then reload the start page. So let's see if we can do this now. Let's see if it works. So for the first one that we created that now says hello, we click delete and it's gone. So if we remove the next one, it also gets deleted. So let's try it from the start. We make a new one that says this is a text and we submit it and we get a new one. We can change it with this is a new text and we edit and that works. And now the last one we delete and it works. In the database we can now see that it's empty. You now know all the 4 letters in CRUD. Good job. If you like this video, please press like, and if you want to see my next video, please press subscribe. Tjosan hejsan.